What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Weekend Review for February 3rd, 2025. 4.0.1, and thus kind of 4.0 is officially live, and 3.24.3 is now closed. We actually had an ISC this week, well, kind of, and CIG did the unspeakable. They canceled a money-making event because of the poor state of the game. All that and more on today's Week in Review. And as always, if this is your first week in review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news each week, put it into one video, and share my opinions about it. I also live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike. Stop by and say hi if you haven't yet. I always appreciate seeing you guys over there, here from YouTube. No sponsors this week, so if you want to go above and beyond and support the channel, you can click the join button, do a super thanks, or pick up some merch at saltemike.tv. But a simple like or subscribe will do as well. And with that, let's start out with the patch notes. And on Monday, we'll start off a little slow with the small PTU where they fixed you getting stuck in your hab. I've never experienced this, and I never knew it was an issue, so let me know if you guys are still experiencing it. And they attempted another fix with Monox. I haven't really experienced it in weeks, but many have reporting dealing with it, but not just at Monox, like in other places like Obituary. And a fix to AI not spawning an arena commander. Then Tuesday, 4.0.1 magically just went to live. So I believe it's because they wanted to do a ship sale, the MISC Fortune, more on that in a moment, and to update the game to Lunar New Year on the day of the holiday, right? They shoved 4.0.1 out the door with all the issues we've been speaking about here on this channel and on the TV channel for weeks. Keep this in mind for a little later in the show. The actual notes are a culmination of all the PTUs we've spoken about, many things that are significantly less important than the current state of the game, and major features that missed kind of not making it in, right? For bugs, they did a weird, I assume due to the character limit on Spectrum maybe, but they did not list any of the bugs in the Spectrum notes. They did say there were over 100 bugs fixed, and then they were listed on the main page post, and I went through and I could pick out a number of these marked as fixed that just absolutely were not. So yeah, does CIG know they're not fixed? This is a problem, right? This is a problem. My experience has been not that bad, though. Certainly not as bad as others are saying. I didn't even go to an executive hangar in 4.0 at all, so CZ content was super inconsistent in 4.0, so I didn't lose much, right? A lot of people lost a lot of progress, and I was hoping it would be better in the .1. First thing I checked was ruins, loot rooms, and the freight elevator was broken. So we're back at square one with 4.0, and the most important content not working. I was hearing the prison was broken again, so I checked, but unfortunately, I was able to get out. Now, why would that be unfortunate? Because it's 100, if a bug is 100% reproducible, then it should be fixable. If it's like this, it's so much harder to fix if it's inconsistent, right? So that's why it's unfortunate. Then I did fight for Pyro, and most of my issues involved my own skill. But I did struggle to get out of the station in Pyro quite a bit due to elevator bugs on one day. But outside of that, I had a pretty good experience. Speaking of Fight to Pyro, I've been talking about this, calling it Save Stanton Chapter 2 for a couple weeks now, but they renamed it to Fight for Pyro now that the patch is live, and you are asked to pick one of three sides. Citizens for Prosperity, who will pit you against what appears to be both factions, but not at the start. Each Phase 1 mission will warn you that you may lose rep with opposing factions no matter who you choose. Look at the blue text. Headhunters, who are the crime lords, appear to be pitting you against just the freedom fighters, and freedom fighters seem to want to wipe out everyone. Not gonna lie, I thought we were still fighting the slicers during this event until I actually read the website. I'm not much of a mission text reader, but it's kind of a cool concept, and I don't know, something they could build on over this year. It might be kind of fun. The main thing here is we now know the rewards, which is likely what you'll base your decisions on, right? If you complete any of these, you will get the new Ripper SMG. I just want to be clear, we currently only have Phase 1. There is a Phase 2 of this that will be coming in I don't know when, probably 4.0.2. And then, yeah, so we saw this Ripper SMG on ISC for Pyro weapons a while back. By the way, where are all those weapons? I have no idea. And if you completed Save Stanton and Fight for Pyro, you get a skin based on the faction you choose to do the missions for. Citizens for Prosperity are black and red, which are probably my favorite. Headhunters are really a nice metallic purple and black, and the Freedom Fighters are camo. Good luck on earning these. I do hope by the time I have this video done, I will also have my guide to all 3 of these paths done, and yeah, have it released for you guys maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. And that'll just be phase 1, so get subscribed for that. This is part of my change that I want to make on the channel that I've been talking about. But yeah, my experience wasn't too awful. It was a ton of quantum travel unless you did the headhunter missions. So if you're trying to avoid quantum travel, do those. And yeah, those seem centrally located, and it was a decent time. Then for hotfixes for 4.0.1, throughout the week, they went live with hot fixes in a hotfix branch to try to obviously fix some of the issues. The issue is there's no PTU to let them know if their possible fixes for these hot fixes are actually fixed. It's live, right? And on Wednesday, they tried to mitigate some of the RMQ and interaction delay issues still around Monox and other places. I think it's still there. And as well as more transit issues. You know the issue that 4.0 should have never gone live without having, but apparently these might be resolved as of I think Saturday evening. We'll have to see. On Thursday, they tried to fix our ship's power randomly turning off and things like engines. I haven't seen that issue in the last couple days, so I do believe this one is possibly fixed. Let me know if you're experiencing it. And they also seem to be trying to clean up trash more around the planets. And yeah, have you ever called your ship from the ASOP only to go to your hangar and it's not there? I think they tried to get that one too, but that one is definitely not fixed. Friday, more issues around the mission refactor and transit. No surprise there, and they may have fixed Grimhex firing at you for no reason. I'm not sure if this is the same bug or not, but players get stuck with permanent hostility. And yeah, it's not just Grimhex that shoots you when they shouldn't, right? It's definitely stations all around the game. And then miners may not have to deal with Ghost Rocks anymore that are not interactable. Talked to Red Monster today, said he had a great time, so this could be fixed. I will believe it, though, when I see it myself. I might not get to mining too much until next week, but I will report back on this one. Saturday, I'm not sure if they updated anything, but they did let us know that they more aggressively took down non-hotfix servers so people could experience the hotfix, as people saw there was a hotfix, but wasn't really experiencing the fixes, probably because they weren't on a hotfix server, as many of players were hoping to see these improvements while running into the same issues again, over and over again, and not knowing. And then the free fly is canceled. Xylo comes on Spectrum to give us an update on the status of 4.0.1 that we all have eyes and we can see. But something we have never seen in the past is when things were bad, they never, and I mean never ever, canceled the free fly. And that is one of their main funding drives. They canceled the free fly in 4.0.1. Now, I'm not as big of an idiot as you may think I am. Many of us know new player acquisition is way down. And I think that, you know, the massive effect that has on funding this year is going to show throughout the year. So the effect that a free fly has on Star Citizen in 2025 is very different than the effect in 2020, for example. So this is probably not as big of a deal as some people are saying it is, especially people at CIG. But where it is a big deal is probably internally within the company. They were doing a lot of talking about how there was a shift going on. We saw employees get let go or leave, Rich Tyrer era comments, and so on. Again, this never would have happened a year ago. So if there's anything to call out as a positive, there does appear to be a small shift going on. At the very least, they are recognizing the severity of their actions these last few years. Why do I say small? Because they still released the patch, right? They didn't listen to player feedback about the lack of bugs actually being fixed. They sold a ship the moment the patch dropped without testing it and gathering feedback on it, and that ship didn't really land that strongly. And they are still running events like Save Stanton and Fight for Pyro. It isn't a monumental shift, but it's a start and it's a shift. Then he goes off their list of top priority bug fixes and issues they want to fix. Transit, players getting stuck in shards and can't log into the game, and load times are all on that list. All issues they were aware that existed when shipping 4.0.1 to live. Then mission, quantum travel, LTP, and more are listed. Again, all issues they knew were there. In the end, if the shift is starting internally, it might take some time for us to see the results externally. But I always implore you to listen less and see more with these guys. They do say a lot, but their actions or lack thereof speak louder. I basically just assume nothing will change, but if it does, it will be awesome if it does at this point, right? And lastly, there will be a 2-hour Star Citizen Live on Thursday, which, unless that was a typo, has holding ISC back at least another week, but this SCL will be with Benoit. And the last time we had him on SCL, titled Tech Talk, the show was really informative, and the things he spoke about actually happened. Major improvements to the stability of server meshing tests, and so on. So I'm looking very much forward to this, but 2 hours is a long time. That react is going to be insane. Let's move on to video updates, because we actually have some. It's been like a month and a half. All right, we have a brand new show. It's called Behind the Ships, and this one is titled MISC Fortune. But these are going to be monthly, and it's basically taking an inside Star Citizen ship sales segment. At least that's what this one was. It could be something else, like updating a new ship that they're working on, and separating it out into its own video, which is pretty cool. And this time they focused on the new ship, the MISC Fortune, and they start out by telling us what it is.
The MISC Fortune is a solo player salvage vessel. It's similar to the Vulture in size and utility.
It is technically a variant of the previous ship, the Prospector, but obviously there's many differences you can benefit from. What we've done is we've sort of tried to push the automatic cargo dispensing mechanism that's on the Vulture a little bit further, and sort of we've combined some of MISC's exterior cargo hold type of mechanic with the salvaging mechanism. What we're doing with the salvage on the Fortune is we're having the cargo that gets created as you salvage be stored on the exterior as well.
When you go back to the salvage station, there's a panel and you can hit auto eject, or you can just eject it manually. And every time you eject, it will eject it out onto the exterior of the ship, and it will automatically snap it to the cargo grid.
So it's exactly what they say it is. There is a serious focus on the automatic cargo mechanism that they created, and it deserves recognition. It is really cool, and it is good. I'm not sure if it can make up for the ship's shortcomings, but the convenience of the auto grid is, actually pretty awesome. Next, they look at the interior.
The ship really makes use of all the available space inside of it.
We did complete component pass, so it has everything exposed, and it has a similar interior as the Prospector, so it's got the same hab and the bathroom and all of that. But we've extended it out so that you can walk from the front all the way to the back.
And then we've got an elevator in the rear for you to be able to bring those boxes in and out if you want to, or additional items. So just imagine you're going out into space to salvage some wrecks. You strip the metal off the surface of the vehicle. It'll create boxes on the side of the ship. And then in addition to that, you want to pull off some of the weapons. If they're small enough, you can actually put them in the elevator in the rear as storage. So it's not a dedicated cargo area on the inside, but it should be big enough for you to grab some of the smaller components if you're able to salvage those.
This was really good. I really think they did such a good job with this that the Prospector needs to be updated as soon as possible. Who knows? Maybe it will be for whenever the engineering update happens. One can hope, right? And lastly, they make the comparison to the Vulture.
Like anything else between ships and Star Citizen, it's a trade-off.
While both the Fortune and Vulture are single-seat salvage ships, The Fortune is going to focus a little bit more on convenience for the user because it has one salvage head versus the Vulture's two. It's not going to salvage quite as efficiently. So you might be able to salvage and do hull scraping a little bit faster still using the Vulture. The advantage is that it might be just a little bit easier to operate. You won't have to be rearranging things as much as you would with the Vulture. And having two systems in play makes it maybe a little bit easier for the user to keep salvaging.
They are really trying to hammer home the convenience thing, but they also say it's a bit less good at scraping the hull, but it's half as good. And the short time it takes to get boxes from the buffer onto the grid in the Vulture versus the auto load of the Fortune just doesn't make up for it. Let's move on to other updates. All right, and we'll start out with a sneak peek. Anyone doing contested zones knows exactly what this sneak is. It is truly a sneak peek. It is implying that they are expanding the contested zone content outside of the stations down to the surface of what looks like Pyro 1 here. The green spray paint is a big giveaway that you are close to some contested zone keys or rewards. Then for the MISC Fortune sale, so the ship is exactly what we all expected, a Drake Vulture competitor, but for MISC. We already got most of the details from the video, so let's stick to the prices. It's $160 if you use new money and $175 if you use any store credit. There are a number of paints. I think the most unique and cool one is the copper paint. Which one's your favorite? And then we had a Q&A for the MISC Fortune. And let's start out with the interior. Since this is built on the Prospector platform, they explain how it differs. And it is quite a bit. The two-pack rooms are new. And honestly, we need these on the Prospector so bad. I can't say this enough. Next, they imply that the Fortune can hold more cargo than the Vulture. They are saying it can fit 47 boxes in total, including the buffer, but I just don't see it. Best I saw a community member get was 38, which is one less than the Vulture, and it will be way slower to stack and unload if you do this. But the 4 extra in the back are nice if you're just running cargo on actual grids and not keeping anything loose, then you actually are doing better than the Vulture. Next, they share the basically the difference between the two ships, the Vulture and the Fortune, and they feel that the Fortune trades convenience for salvage speed, but at this point, I think most people have pointed out that the convenience isn't making up for the slow and honestly unsatisfying salvage speed. And lastly, the general ship is slower than the Vulture as well, so while it might not matter much, speed between salvage panels will be slower. But if ship salvage becomes more viable, the extra QT fuel on the Vulture, or excuse me, on the Fortune could help. But before we move on, and you feel as strongly as I do that this ship could be good, there is a feedback thread, and make sure you take some time to share your thoughts there if you want this ship to be better. Lunar New Year is next. Pretty much everything here is what we shared last week, except we can confirm that this year is the year of the pig. The free fly is off, but the referral reward remains. The Arena Commander reward is to win a match in either Kill Collector mode or, so either Kill Collector mode. There's ships or FPS, and you get a forum badge. No coins or skins or anything this time. And last week I mentioned the login reward for the extra bit, but it sounds like this time you need to actually find the envelopes around the cities, pretty sure just Stanton, and turn them in. The TDDs buy them, as far as I'm aware, not admin panels, which used to be where you would sell them, and you will get the envelope as a permanent hanger reward. No more wooden figures, I guess, so that's a thing of the past, possibly. And of course, they are selling a bunch of paints. Lastly, there's something for free in the store. It is a hanger or base building display for all the Red Festival envelopes that you have earned over the years. Pick it up. I have it linked down below. And then lastly, dev posts. And we only have one post as the others kind of made it into the patch notes sections and other places. So someone complained that you cannot share a mission with someone if you do not have the same rep as the mission being shared. So for example, if you guys aren't aware of this, now this is a new thing. If I have yet to unlock LRT rank for bounties, you cannot share an LRT mission with me. I think this makes a lot of sense in a finished game, but don't mind me, I'm going to read way too deeply into this one because Nico replied saying something about shared rewards, which means we they might be cooking something up here. And this change is just the start of something bigger. He also italicized the word reveal. So at the very least, keep your eyes peeled. This one might be interesting. And that'll do it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Another tough week, but I'm lucky I experienced all the phase ones for all the factions in Fight for Pyro, and it worked. It was tough, but it worked. And, you know, a new ship comes in. It's not perfect, but it has potential in the future. And I'm not feeling as doomy and gloomy as everyone else. The state of the game is the state of the game. We knew it wouldn't be good, but we are now expecting a higher standard from CIG, and we should be holding them to that. And I'm glad the community did, and I'm glad the company has reacted to our feelings, and I hope they continue to do that, and I hope they continue to do what's best for the game, but obviously, you know, take care of themselves funding wise as well if that's what they need to do, but we need to be the focus. It's our turn, and we'll see. So if you guys enjoyed this week in review, make sure you get subscribed. Once again, if you want to go above and beyond, you can join and do all that fun stuff, but that's not necessary. So like the video, subscribe, comment on anything we discussed today. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next week.